grew up out in the woods in northern Minnesota, hunting and fishing, and it was kind of my way of just, I guess, exploring nature. And trail running is now one of those ways that gets me out in the woods, out in the mountains, and away from, I guess, as much as I love to run on roads too, it just gets me out a bit more into like a natural environment, and it gets me into, I guess, a state, a more animal state, and being connected with elements such as the weather and the terrain, and that all just creates for this variety that you just never know what's going to happen, and it just keeps it exciting. Well, I think going ultra long distances allows me to push my body to areas that I didn't really think I had capabilities, and challenges and adversity that I have to overcome. I mean, there's this really factor and element of unknown and adventure, and when you run 10K or 5K or even just 10, 15 miles, you still get a sense of adventure, but when you start going 50 miles, 100 miles, there's a lot that happens out there, and there's always that things are going to go wrong. There's always things that you didn't really anticipate, and it's really that, I guess, that element of unknown that you experience on the ultra course. Yeah, winning is a great feeling. There's no doubt about it. I think after all these years of winning, I've come to appreciate, though, too, I've learned a lot from the times that I didn't win. So winning feels like, I describe this in my book, it's hard to really sum it up in words, but it feels like, fireworks are going off, because when you finish an ultra marathon or a marathon or half marathon, for a lot of people, even a 5 or 10K that they've been training for, you have your ups and downs during the race. There are times when you don't feel like you're going to be able to do it, or you're not going to come through. But when you finally follow through and you've gotten through those low points and you come through winning or achieving your goal, the best way I can describe it is this electrical type energy kind of running through your body, and it's an amazing feeling. And it doesn't happen for very long, unfortunately, and that's why I think winning is great, but it's more, I guess, getting that satisfaction when you look back at it, and not just, okay, it was that 30 seconds that I went through the finish chute. No, it was really about that whole journey that I just ran 100 miles, and even the low points, because getting out of those low points sometimes is the most important thing, or the thing that I remember the most. Well, I like to say that my favorite place is anywhere there's a bit of single track and a piece of dirt to just take me places. And I mean, there's just so many great places to run. I mean, I love running in the Alps in Europe, and I even got to experience the Lake District, and even for just the 16 miles that I saw, it just was mind-blowing. So to me, it's anywhere that I get to explore somewhere new. It's fun, but it's also fun to just be in my own backyard and the trails that I'm familiar with. Yeah, it's one of those races that I would like to fit in. I'm closing in on the end of my career, so I'm not sure how much I have left in terms of racing, but it's one of those courses that seems really suited for me. And plus, I just want to get up and run the course, as well as run the Bob Graham round and some of the rounds up in Scotland and Wales, and I even hear there's one in Ireland. So it'd be fun just to really, I guess, soak in that fell running tradition and the trail running tradition that I've read so much about and admired so much too. And there's a great history here in the UK. I read Feet in the Clouds, and there's just so many spectacular characters and people that have
Have you met any of them?
I haven't met any of them yet, so I hope to next trip I've got to spend some time, because they kind of remind me of like the Minnesota characters that I describe in Eat and Run, basically from Hippie Dan to Dusty to my coach Glenn Sorensen. All of these characters came together, and it seems like it's quite the scene of characters. So I wish I could like call one out, and one of my big heroes too is Don Ritchie, and I know he's not a trail runner per se, but he has his roots in basically the country of the UK, and just being out in farm country, and he's been a big inspiration to me because he just put so much into training and accomplished so much.